right, guys. So we're back with a little different of an interview. So I'm bringing on one of our Funded Trader members, Ashley, or you go by Ash, right?
Yeah.
So he goes by Ash, the Party Shirt Trader, as you guys know, in the Discord. So he's gonna do a little interview. So first to start, for those that don't know Ash, maybe give a little background on yourself. You
Oh,
know,
me.
because this is the first time you're making an appearance on the
Oh,
channel.
really?
Yeah, so maybe give a little background so people know some more. I know they see the theatrics, in the chats and whatnot, but I've had some conversation with you, and there's more. There's more to add.
There's a lot to me. I'm the man who's lived 1,000 lives.
There's more to add. So like let's
Mhm.
start off with you. How did you get to the point, where you're kind of one of the main members in the Discord, right? And what's kind of motivated you to become that, right?
So for me, I come from a sales background, right? Everything I've ever done is sales. But when people think, they think I've worked in car sales, I've worked in all the quote unquote crooked sales. It's all about psychology, right? Everyone wants to buy stuff and everyone wants to enjoy it. So for me, I see opportunities where others don't. So when I found out about you guys, like I just reached out, joined the Discord, and then found out about the whole affiliate stuff, right? And I was like, why is no one pushing it? So I just thought, right, if everyone wants to purchase a plan, like if I can provide a discount, I provide a service at the value that they want as well. But that's just kind of like a side hustle thing that I do. But I've just traveled the world, mate. I just work really hard, graft
Right now?
relentlessly.
You're over in UK right now?
Yeah, and next month I'll be in Thailand again.
You're going back to Thailand for what, a month?
No, forever, mate. I'm gonna travel the world. Like that's my vibe.
You're out. Yeah, you were sending me some some spots. I just got my passport, man. So
Yeah,
you
easy to
know,
use that thing.
let me know. You got the
Yeah.
book. I was looking at my old passport.
So
I was looking at my old passport when I was younger. It's I've been to some spots, but I haven't been that far to Thailand. So
you got it's heaven on earth, like Southeast Asia. It's crazy.
I
But
send you I send you that retreat, that place. I forgot it's called, like Ulaman or something.
Yeah.
Dude, we got to plan a funded trader retreat.
Well, that's your job, mate. So I'm keen. I'll do it. So I always say, like, just book a date and get it done. That's how I operate. Like, just book it. So for me with traveling, right? First time I went abroad on my own was when I was 18. I was quite introverted, fragile to the world, but I was sick of being shy and whatnot. So I booked a return ticket to Eastern Europe, went to Bulgaria. And the concept was that I could never say no. And I've never been on holiday with friends, only with family, right? So I just get on this plane, I'm like, well, what am I doing here? But I could never say no, right? So I ended up like down in Sophia and I was like, oh, like, do you mind if I kind of chill you guys, have a beer and play some pool? And they were like, just got generally chatting, and I said, oh, what's your plans whilst you're here? So, oh, we're going to a beach festival. Do you want to come? Yeah, I couldn't say no. So I ended up going to this beach festival and I saw like the Prodigy, and like it's the first time I saw like really cheap beers like on a beach, and it was a festival and it was just completely different to what I was accustomed to.
Blew your mind compared to where you were.
Yeah, I ended up traveling with these Italians, right? These guys for like two or 3 weeks down the coast.
My people.
And the day I was leaving there, like I was, we celebrated hard, and I woke up in the morning and I was unfortunately a little bit sick, right? And I woke up, I was like, boys, like I've messed up here. And they're like, don't worry about it. Like, we're just gonna bounce. So anyway, I then got lost in the desert trying to find my next hostel, because this was back so I'm 31 and I was 18. So this was a while ago.
Wow.
Right? Didn't have kind of luxuries that we have in technology. So I just had written on a piece of paper like how to get to my place. So I'm just like rocking like mad because I've been hungover, I've not eaten. It's like 35 degrees and I've got to find my hostel. I got lost for about 3 hours and I thought I was going to die.
So this is making me think of a very like interesting thing, right? So for me, I got into all of this because of the fact that I thought that there was a lot out there in the world, right? I was like, what can I experience? What can I create? Who can I inspire? All this stuff. And it's funny because now we obviously have this business, this company, the Funded Trader, and a lot of the people that we're meeting, you definitely more than most, right? Because you've definitely put yourself out there more than most, just from hearing about your story for like literally a minute. But we're meeting a lot of people who are in this similar framework of thinking where it's like, I want to get out there. I want to try something new. I want to take risks, right? I want to see if there's something else that I can experience that I'm really not supposed to, right? Everyone's telling me not to do this. Everyone's telling me to stay, in my shell, whatever. And then from this experience, you've obviously learned a lot of yourself, and you really want more of it, right? You're like, damn,
100%.
the world has so much to experience. Now you're back in the UK, temporarily, and you have that perspective because you've been to all these places. So it's not like you're upset about being in the UK or anything, but you're there and you're just like, damn, like there's this and there's that, right? There's here and there's there. And it's just, I think it's really cool that I'm meeting all these people who are really putting themselves out there. They're taking chances with Funded Trader. They're trying to trade their own accounts, everything like that. But there's still like some people who are just reserved and are kind of stuck, haven't taken the first leap. But from your perspective, what would you tell these people? I mean, you literally just said yes to everything and just had that like what flipped the switch for you where you're like, I'm just gonna go and that's it.
Well, I used to be like a real sportsman. So I used to go gym, like not gym so much, but more athletics and swimming. And it was very regimented. You just do, right? Even if you hate it, you do it. Like, and that's it. So my word of advice would be just do it. It's meant to be uncomfortable. It's meant to be horrifically painful and awkward. And I don't mind being awkward. Like, I'm quite an awkward character sometimes, but I can sit there and stew in it and I'll have a laugh. So at the end of the day, once you realize there's so much more to life if you just give it a go.
Yeah.
Like, I just booked it. Like I said, I booked this return ticket to Eastern Europe in Bulgaria, but because, like I said, I couldn't say no. I ended up traveling the whole of Eastern Europe because people said, "Oh, we're going to Montenegro. Would you like to come?" Yeah, right. I didn't want to. I just did it.
But you were kind of in that like discovery phase, right? Where you were just like, all right, I'm trying to see what's out there. I'm trying to experience things. I'm trying to shift my perspective a little bit. And when you're in that phase, you do have to be extremely open to what's out there, right? You have to be extremely willing to put yourself in uncomfortable places and stuff like that, in order to find out, who are you, to learn more about yourself, learn more about what's out there, learn more about different people. So you were like aggressively in that stage. I could remember going back for me, in the beginning of time, like years ago, when I had an injury, right? So I had an injury and it was from the gym, it was from sports, right? I played football in high school, like I was running back, I got all fucked up my back. I'm really tiny. So I got all banged up. And then it got to the point where I had an injury in my neck and I went to the doctor, right? And he told me, he said, listen, you have spinal stenosis at a young age, which is not common. And he's like, you're, not in great condition. And I'm like, all right, what can I do for this? Because I've been in terrible pain and I want to go back to the gym, right? I love going to the gym. I love working out, being healthy, active. And he's like, you know what? You shouldn't lift anymore. You shouldn't go to the gym. Like, you should I'm going to write you pain meds, take the meds. And that was like a moment in my life where I was like, wow, like this is not what I want to do, right? This person's telling me that I can't, for the rest of my life, do something I love to do, which is working out. He's telling me I'm going to always be in pain. Like, he was just giving me a very negative outcome. And this is a doctor, someone who you should trust, right? These people are supposed to be people you should trust,
in America, I'd be a bit,
right? So he was telling me what I should do. And I'm just like, wow, like that is not what I want to do. And there's got to be another way, right? There's got to be an alternative. That was when I started to realize, like, all right, stop listening to the authority. Everyone, you got to listen to yourself to some extent, right? You got to get different opinions, got to put yourself out there, really figure out, what can help you, what can be better for your situation. So I ended up meeting like my first, I guess, mentor, and he was just actually kind of unorthodox, but he was like a master kettlebell instructor, right?
Yeah.
So he was all in the rehabilitation of the body, whatever. So he introduced me to some things. I started working out with him. I was in horrible shape. I was all banged up. I was in a ton of pain. And he started to introduce you to, like, how to align the body, how to strengthen the posterior chain, how to strengthen your back, your neck by working out, right? By movement, medicine through movement, right? And he started to teach me how to have more presence, how to think in terms of like every single day, just do this little activity. And over a long period of time, you're going to see a large benefit, right? By just doing these little adjustments and like being very focused. And he had a martial arts background too. So it was like, that was his whole, like he had that whole feng shui. Like it was like, stay focused, stick to the discipline, you know what I mean? And over a period of time, you're going to see like great results, right? So I was at first very skeptical. Obviously, I'm like, all right, but I had no other option at that point. I was in pain. I was sad. Like, I was like, I need to figure this out. Meanwhile, this guy's like bald, walking around, happy as can be. You know what I mean? Like, loving life. I'm like, I need to take advice from this guy. Like,
wait until you go bald, mate.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the guy that I need to be listening to, because he clearly has life a lot more figured out than this fat doctor that just told me to sit on my ass all day. Right.
Yeah.
So I started listening to him, and that's when I started to open my mind up. Obviously, it took some months where I started to get into better spirits, better shape physically, mentally, emotionally. But he taught me that every single day doing one thing can change your life, right? Every single day, right? And having hope. Hope is like the most powerful thing in the whole world, right? He gave me hope that there was going to be a positive outcome, and that transformed my whole life, right? So for me now, I'm talking to a lot of different people, and a lot of people like yourself and like other people I'm meeting is like, people have hope that there is a better life than one that they're living, right? People have hope that there's a better environment, there's a better place that they can potentially live, maybe more money can enhance their situation, whatever. And I just think that that's the coolest thing about meeting you and like meeting all these different people is like, you're going to continue to put yourself out there, and you're going to live a much different life than someone who just accepts the reality of their situation, maybe just pounds down food and pounds down, indulges in these things, and then they never really discover who they really are, right? So
yeah,
I think the funded trader, and you're taking advantage of it even more than most, because you're doing the affiliate thing and you're trying to trade the accounts, right? You had a funded account, now you're back
I've got the 400K now, right?
Yeah, now you're back on the way to the new 400K. Yeah, you're back on the funded. So you're taking advantage of it to the fullest extent, and it's like a beautiful thing for me. It's like poetry to me. Like you're seeing the situation, and you're living you're there's a lot of presence involved in like, all right, guys, like you see the people come in the chat and they're like, is this a scam? Like, is this this? And I'm like, you join the chat and don't even look at anything, and then just say, is it a scam? You know what I mean? At least look around a little bit. Like, at least look, or like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, people don't think for themselves. They literally just come in, they ask questions, and they listen to other people, and then they just like come in, evaluate things for yourself, then start to ask other people, right? Don't do no research and then just trust what someone else says blindly. Like that's not the wave at all. That's lifelong bad decisions, right? So yeah, definitely pretty cool to see. So some background, you asked, some background on myself, pretty much, where how did I get in position? There's people in Forex League asking me, how did I get to the point where I'm at right now, where I'm have the funded trader, what transpired? to do all this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 26, right? I started like most people, went to high school, and then after high school, graduated, didn't know who the hell I was, and then my parents were like, go to college, right? So I went to college. I went to First University of Rhode Island, and then I dropped out of college my first month at college, pretty much. Like I stayed there the first semester, but then I dropped out because I was not where I wanted to be. So I was always like this. Like I was always like one of those people where if I was, I guess, spoiled in a sense. Like if I didn't get what I wanted, I was not gonna settle. Like and people were always telling me, like, you can't do this, you can't leave the school, you gotta stay here, right? You
Yeah.
can't talk to this person, you can't do that. And it was like, no, I'm gonna leave this place because I don't want to be here. And I don't care what it takes to get into the other place, I'm gonna will my way there. Right. I had grit, right?
Yeah.
So I always wanted to go to Rutgers. That's the school I ended up going to. So I dropped out of the Rhode Island school. It was cold as fuck up there. I didn't want to be up there. Dropped out, went to community college, saved some money. That was like a very interesting period of time. I was doing some things entrepreneurial. They weren't the best things in the world. And
what? What? Go on. Go on. It's in the past. It's done. It's finished.
Keep it private until I have more money. We'll keep it private for now. But we'll keep it. But yeah, I was doing some things. I was always very entrepreneurial. When I was younger, I talked to so many people about this, like flipping phones on eBay. I was repairing iPhones. I was selling batteries. My mom would say, every time I buy you something, you end up selling it on eBay. And I was like, yeah, because there's something else that I want. And I'm transitioning into that new thing. But I was always, trying to think of new ways and like engineer my way to get what I want. Right. So I dropped out, went to community college. I ended up going to Rutgers for my last 2 semesters. Got to Rutgers, was just pretty miserable at school, honestly. Was not the best time in the world. Transparently, I was like just smoking weed all the time, like barely going to class, just getting by. And that was because I didn't find out, what my passion was yet. I was
but the thing is, who were you associating with as well? Were you around the right people as well, or do you feel like you maybe was put in that situation and then you were surrounded with people that were kind of doing the same thing, right?
No, I was choosing who I wanted to be around, right? I was choosing the people that I wanted to be around, and it wasn't easy. I came from a very small town, very small hometown, and I was like putting myself out there by going to this big school, and really just trying to meet new people, right? Try to get away from old influences and meet new influences. The thing that I do remember pretty profoundly was the moment I did step on campus, and this is kind of like my 2 cents for anyone that's asking, like, should I go to college? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? If you have good mentors from a young age and you're already starting businesses at like 16, 17, 18, and you have good critical thinking, maybe not go to college. I am one that will always advise people to get more educated. I think education is important. I think education promotes critical thinking. It improves yourself, I think, as a human being with like communication, all that, no matter what it is. I don't think you should go in debt $100,000. I think you can get educated for fairly low.
That's just in America.
Fairly low cost. Yeah, for fairly low cost. I don't believe in going into huge debt for education. I don't think it's actually, unless you're becoming a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. But
it's a business though, right? So it's sometimes forced upon you without even knowing about it. It's definitely the case here in the UK. It's like, if you don't go to uni, you're a waste of space. That's how it comes across.
Well, the thing that's sad is even now, like I remember, but yesterday, like I go in the grocery store and like I don't, have a job at this point. Like I just have businesses, and I go in the store and it's like a bunch of robots. Like you see all the people in the dressed up and stuff they really don't want to wear, right? They're on their lunch break. It's like the race. And I'm like, wow, like to think at one point that people told me that that's how I should live. Right. To think that at one point I thought that was like success. Like, sure, your success in the sense that you have some stability. Like, I'm not putting down anyone that works a 9 to 5. Like, obviously, you're in that position. Like, you have money coming in, whatever. But I'm just looking at it like that should not be the goal. Like the goal should
Exactly.
not be to be stuck in a situation you don't want to be in. The goal for everyone should be to have more freedom, right? For me,
100%. Yeah.
I'm fucking strolling down in my gym shorts and t-shirt, getting sushi, you know, whatever the hell I want.
Oh God, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in there because I'm on lunch break. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm just looking at some things from some different perspectives, and I'm like, well, shit, we're being told the wrong things. You know, you're saying in the UK, everyone's saying you to go to college, like do this, do that, like get that next certification, do that. Like, no, focus on stuff. So this is what I say: find two things, right? Find one thing unrelated to money or several things unrelated to money that will make you happy, you know, that you can do. And then find something that will make you money, right? A skill that can
Yeah.
make you money. And then focus on those two things. That's all that I did. All that I did when I first started this whole entrepreneur, you know, journey, this voyage. I was in the beginning, it was like 21, 22. I'll get into this. And I became very unhappy with where I was going in regards to the corporate thing. And I made the
Yep.
decision. I was like, no matter what, I'm going to figure out a way to navigate out of this. And I just was, and I had that from that mentor, I had that belief, that hope that if I just did something every day, a little bit, that eventually I would become, you know, masterful in that skill or whatever, in that thing I was doing.
Yeah.
So I found some things that I like to do that would make me happy, that were not related to money. That way, if I never had money, I'd be happy. And then I found a skill that ultimately could make me a lot of money because of the fact that I had these goals of, you know, one of my goals is helping to pay my sister's tuition for college. Like she's like $100,000 in debt. Like that's terrible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was like always one of my biggest goals. And then there's like other goals that I have, right? And they require money. Like if you want to help people, like a lot of people say, oh, you don't need money. Sure, you can change the world just by being, you know, have good habits and whatever. But like if you really want to inflict change, you need some money. Like you need some money. You can
Need a lot.
a lot
You
of
need a
good.
lot.
You could do a lot of good and you could do a lot of harm with money for sure.
Exactly.
Right.
And yeah, I've seen it affect people differently as well. So like, luckily I associate with good people and the money's affected me in good ways. And I, you know, it's like anything, right? You surround yourself with the people that you know, want to be, or you align with the same values. That's the benefit of obviously the trade ladder, right? I speak to traders all day just from the trader, but you know, I've started my Instagram and I'm getting a bit more reach now, right? The algo is starting to pick me up a little. And I get to talk to really, really amazing people all day, all
Yeah.
day. And like I find like in my real world, like in the day-to-day stuff, I try and explain to what I'm doing, what I'm aspiring to do, and the next goals, and like they kind of look at you like whatever,
They're
or
literally
don't
just
care.
like they're literally just like robots. And everyone that you affiliate with now that you're, I hate to get like spiritual, but now that you're in alignment, you know, with your passion, with where you want to ultimately go, your goals, all these people, there's gonna be some that come in, but they won't stay for long, that are negative. Most of the people you will meet are also people who are trying to do these things. They're trying to, you know, they have a similar goal, or they're just going to
Yeah,
be very positive, you know, be very reinforcing for you. And
for sure.
that is because you've made like the ultimate sacrifice of saying, like, fuck all these people that aren't about this, right? I'm not even going to listen to these people. I'm going to go in my direction, and I'm just going to, it's like a freaking bulldozer. Like, I'm just going to find more people along the way that are heading in that direction. And then it just compounds. Like, when I first started this, I had to cut off so many people because these people
Yeah.
just they didn't have self-belief. They didn't have hope ultimately that they could reach the like certain levels in life. And I was like, wow, this is so negative. And I even I see it now even more so. Like I'm getting even more and more. And I really believe what you listen to, what you read, what you even see has such a profound impact on your day.
Yeah.
Like I personally, and I've said this to many people, like I don't listen to in the morning, and this is like something that's not a popular opinion, I don't listen to like rap music, like hip hop music, like really anything lyrical in the morning.
Yeah.
The morning, I'll listen to motivational stuff. I listen to Audible. I listen to like instrumentals, deep
Yeah.
house, stuff like that. Like good vibes. You know what I mean? Good,
Yeah.
like helping me manifest like the subconscious mind, to continue to be motivated to get where I need to be. Give myself more information. Like feed yourself this stuff. When you're listening to legit rap and this like all this lyrical music, they're literally telling you kill people, like fuck this, like you know what I mean? Like you know how bad that is for your mind to listen.
Well, do you see what I do in the mornings?
No, what do you do?
No, of course you don't, because you don't follow me on Instagram. No, I have a disco every morning. On my Instagram, we have a little disco every morning.
Yeah.
Get a disco going. So I do the same thing. It's just positive music.
I'm not one to tell anyone to do, like I can't tell you what to do because you might not be ready, or that might not be for you, right? So something that I do that works, you might try and just make no sense at all for you, because our minds are so different, everyone, right?
And that's like trading as well, right? Like when people ask me about my strategy, I literally say I buy at the bottoms and I sell at the tops, and there's nothing really more fancy about it. But they can't get their head around, like, well, this person trades this way. I was like, yeah, but that's their way. Like, and I've got a good group of like traders that I know that we all trade differently. All of us. We've got SMC type style traders. We've got people that just like go for 10 pips. We've got people that do like limit orders. They trade zone to zone. We've got swing traders. So many different ways. And I think what people don't understand is they're trying to find, the golden ticket, like it's everyone goes on their own life, their own way, and it's always different, right? And it's always going to be ups and there's always going to be downs. And unfortunately, I've had the lowest of the lows, but I've had the highest of the highs, baby, the highest of highs.
I'm gonna make a comment on that, and this is kind of like a blanket statement, is if you're a follower, you will never make money in the Forex market, in any market. The people who are making money with the funded accounts are all leaders, in the sense that and this is mainly because we're not allowing trade copies. I know people are doing stuff around it, whatever, but it's mainly because the leaders are like you. They're finding what works for them. They're saying fuck the rest. They're learning a little bit from everyone, but at the end of the day, they're making their own decisions. A follower is just coming in, they're taking signals, they're in a group and they're blindly listening to other people. They're not trying to figure things out for themselves. They think that there's a golden ticket to all of this. There is no golden ticket. Like, you have to do the work. You have to take the risks yourself. You have to handle the fucking, the negative and everything that comes along with it. And you've got to will your way to win. It's like sports. It's like anything.
For sure. And like, I always say to people, like, how much are you willing to give up? Like, I've lost everything. I've quite literally lost everything.
I lost everything as well.
It was horrific, to say the least. Like, from the thing is, I go to zero rather than 0 to hero. So for me, I had like everything was spectacular, and then things went real south real quick, and I was like, oh, this is getting like real deep, and like I never stopped, and it just got so bad that I put myself in a situation where I was like developing tics. I was like becoming like unhuman.
Yeah.
So
it happens.
Made it back.
So to get back into some of my background, right? Why did I get into trading in the beginning, right? Because I just started I literally started as anyone else. I bought a course on Instagram to try to trade. I bought a course on Instagram to try to learn how to trade. But why did I get into that? Why did I reach that point? Is I had made some money. I never was given any money. I shout out my dad, never give me any money. And I had my own money. I originally bought some Apple. I bought some tech stocks. And I made some money, from buying stocks. And at that point, I was like, thought I was going to become a millionaire off trading. thought it was, it was my time. I was the next one up. I was going to become, this very rich person just from trading. And that didn't happen, right? I had made some money. I put in, I'll transparently tell you how much I put in. I put in around $40,000 into crypto in like 2017, and your boy bought the top. I bought the top of crypto and I got completely fucked. I lost pretty much all my money. We lost Ash here, but we'll bring him back on. I was just explaining how I got into trading, right? What did you hear up to? When did you drop off?
The Apple bit. You bought some Apple stock.
Okay, so I was buying tech stocks. I bought during Brexit. So Brexit, everything crashed. I put in like $15,000 and I ended up making like a bunch of money from Brexit.
Big dick.
Yeah, I just put it all in. I ended up making some money. So I ended up with like $40,000, right? And I was like, at the time, I think I was like 19 or something. It was like 2019. And I was like, wow, I'm going to become a millionaire. Like, this is crazy. I'll be the best investor ever. And I literally believed, I was like, I'm naturally gifted to make money in the market. I was like telling my dad, I'm like, just watch. Then 2017 happened with crypto.
Yeah.
And I got into the crypto. I saw it going up and I was like, shit, I gotta hop on this train. It's going up. Pulled all of my money.
Is that when it tanked?
Pulled all of my money out of all the good bets. If I just left that 40K in Tesla, Apple, Facebook, that would have been worth $500,000.
Billion. Yeah. You'd be set. You can chill off the dividends, right?
Yeah. That'd be worth $1 million right now, probably, if I left that in. Because I was
more than likely
so low. I got in so low. Like Tesla has literally probably like 15x from that price. That was like in 2016, 2015.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, about to get in crypto. This is the wave. I'm early. It's going up. Like, it's going to keep going up. I bought the top, lost all the money. I lost all the money. I bought the top. One of the ones I lost most of the money on was Tron. I bought Tron.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, I actually held Tron for 4 years and I ended up making back the money on Tron.
Jeez.
Yeah, I held Tron. It went all the way down. I put in like 30K into Tron. It went down to like 5K, 4K when it hit the bottom. I bought in more. And then Tron, as everyone knows, recently went up a lot. And I was in. I was in Tron, baby. And I sold out. I sold out a little early because I had been in it so long that I was
with
like,
crypto, how do you know when to get out? That's the thing, right? Because when it moons, like where is the moon? Like you're just like drifting.
I've learned a lot about that now is like you should always take profits. And your strategy, you even said, like, it's very simple. Sell high, buy low, right?
Yeah.
BTC is technically low. Like BTC is at a lower point than the high. So this is a better point to buy. Like everyone's like trying to buy at like 69. Like they're like, I'm getting in. And it's like no. It's literally...
Also, I always say to people as well, like imagine it in 10, 20 years time, do you reckon Bitcoin's gonna be worth more or less than now? So I always say it doesn't matter. Like every week, just buy as much as you can. Because think about what, is it 2012? It was like 19,000, right? How much would people want to pay for 19,000? That's the time the high. Would want to buy that high.
Yeah.
So that was you've got to have the long horizon on it as well.
That was my whole thing with Tron was I believed in the idea of the project and I knew I'd hold it as long as I needed to. Unfortunately, every time freaking Justin Sun talks, it's like, come on, man, like, don't be saying this. Like, he's like the worst marketer ever. But ended up pumping. I held, and I'll continue. Like, someone even mentioned to me, they were in my DMs, they're asking about BTC, and I'm like, yeah, probably gonna buy. He's like, like, you're gonna buy? I'm like, bro, like, can you just leave me alone? Like, you're literally the biggest troll ever. He's like, I was like, I'm just gonna buy. And he's like, what if it goes to 18? I'm like, I'm gonna buy more.
Buy more. Buy more.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking buy more. I'm gonna have a party. I make tacos and buy more.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And then this guy's like, that's the shittiest thing I ever heard. And I'm like, bro, like I'm glad that I have said to you the dumbest thing you've ever heard. Like I'm actually thrilled.
I love it when people say something. I'm like, well, if you're not buying, sell it. I'm like, no, like, oh, shut up then. Like, leave it. Like,
I just blocked him. So
yeah, like, because you know, I post all my trade ideas on Instagram, right? You'd know if you follow me.
yeah.
And
well, you message me so much that I see everything. I don't need to follow you because I have a personalized
It's about branding. It's about branding, baby. I need to look good.
I have a personalized feed of you. Actually, I actually get it funneled directly to me, so I don't need to follow you.
But you know, the thing is as well, this is what I mean, like people always say to you, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this, especially with trading, right? But you focus on just like people ask me like how it's taken me years to like develop the strategy that I've got, right? Even though it is very simply buying the lows and selling the highs, there are, you know, when I'm in a trend, I'll try and get into a trend. So I'm more of like a trend trader, right? But it's just back testing and relentless losing. The more you lose, the more you can learn. So it's important when you lose, you do the learning, right? Otherwise, it's just this, you know, insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So,
right.
And everyone goes through an insane phase. Don't worry. So, like everyone.
At some point, you got. Like, I remember early on. So again, with the story, right? I lost a bunch of money. At that point, I was like, I never want to look at a chart and not know what I'm looking at again. So I wanted to learn technical analysis because I was so hurt by losing that money, right? I was like, I went on this crusade, like I'm gonna learn TA and become a god, like this is it, you know, I'm all in. But I wasn't ready at that point. Like I still was in this like weird, you know, I was in college, you know, I was finishing college, I didn't know where I wanted to go. College, I ended up majoring originally in economics, and then I just literally didn't study enough to keep up with economics. So I like stopped economics, I changed it to my minor, and I actually ended up majoring in IT, so information technology. That was like something that was really like interesting to me, right? So I ended up majoring in that. It was like pretty easy, honestly, to do.
Is that where you met Carlos?
So Carlos, I ended up joining a fraternity in college, and me and Carlos actually pledged the fraternity together. So he was I was a junior and Carlos was a freshman, and so I was late, and it was Carlos's first semester. And one thing I will say about Carlos, anyone that knows about fraternities knows about like Hell Week, right? And knows about the whole pledge process. We joined hell on earth. Like we had the worst pledge process ever. I will not get into it. We didn't do any gay stuff, you know, but we had
by the way, that's the way you start. Like
because everyone thinks
like,
about everyone
legal. It's
we
just
didn't
like
do any of that.
Definitely
Our pledge instructor, he had just gotten out of the military, and he was a sergeant in the military, and then he joined the fraternity. He was like in his 30s, and then he was our pledge instructor. So it was like hell on earth. Like it was just terrible. A lot of working out, a lot of like verbal, emotional abuse. Like it was just fucking terrible. So Hell Week, I'll say this one thing about Carlos. This is when I knew that Carlos was different. Hell Week, we weren't supposed to sleep, but like everyone was like sleeping, you know what I mean? This guy, Carlos, didn't sleep once. Like he was legit up the whole time. This guy was just like on. Like it was just, this guy was built different, right? So that was the first time I realized that Carlos was different. And yeah, that's where I met him. And then from there, you know, we didn't do much with like business back in school or anything. He was an engineer. I was an IT major. But that's where I met Carlos. So for those that don't know, I went to college with him. So fast forward to I graduate college. I get a decent internship. I work at Bayer, which bought Monsanto, which obviously is not great, but I ended up working there. I worked in IT first in sales operations. Then I worked in like IT marketing and sales. So I started my career, right? I started a career. I had a decent job. There was one job I had before that, which is what woke me up. It was this strict office job. It was at the school. and I was working with all people that hated the job, and it was just so boring, like so unmotivating. It was all cubicles, like it was brown, like everything was like just bland. And that's when I realized, I was like, fuck, I cannot do this. Like there is a potential, like the way that things are going, there's the potential that this could be my everyday life. Like this is crazy. You know what I mean? I was like, this cannot be the end all be all to what I'm doing. And then that's when I started realizing, like, okay, I need to figure out different ways to make money. You know, I had a little regret about college. Like I was like, wow, like why did I fucking do this? But it was, I looking back, it was about, like, I advise anyone to go to school because it helps me to think critically and everything. And help me meet a lot of fucking people, which is also very important too, right?
It's also important to pay attention, not what not to do. Yeah. So by being in those situations, you look around, you see how people behave, and you think, do I want to associate myself or adopt those behaviors? Absolutely not. Yeah. Right. So those things are important as well. And I'll tell you what, as you get older, right, the worst thing about in general, right, is you see family and friends getting older, right, and it's never fun. Like, so you don't even think about it, but you can see what could happen, like if you don't look after your health, B, look after your finances, and C, like look after like friends and family, right? It's like you can see it happening. If you're not careful, it can slip away, right? So it's important to pay attention to what not to do.
Yeah, no, 100% I agree. There was obviously a lot of people doing the wrong thing at college, and I got into the fraternity life, so I was in the party life, right? I was in all that. Looking back with the mindset I have now, I would have literally, yeah, I was in the party shirt life. We were having we were wearing those shirts. Yeah, we were wearing those shirts. Looking back on it, knowing what I know now, I would have literally tried to run for president of the whole school, like the student body.
Yeah.
Like knowing what I know right now in my habits, but I wasn't ready at that point. Like there were people that were trying to be positive influences in my life, and I wasn't ready for that.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So luckily I got mentors that put me in the right direction, you know, that set me up for success and now have me in position to take advantage of all these opportunities. But you know, I was back then not in position, right? So what broke me out? Like I told you a little bit about the other mentor, but ultimately what breaks you out is having a little bit of success, right? You're betting on yourself, you're telling all these people, fuck you, right? I'm not listening to you. At that point, you're like literally a fucking black sheep, like of everything, like because you're so embedded in like this other group and all this other shit. So what ultimately ends up breaking you out is you start to have a little bit of success, right? So I started to have some success with trading. I started making a little bit of money trading, nothing like crazy, but I was having some success. And then again, I started thinking, oh my God, you know, whatever, I should lead the masses.
Yeah.
Been there. And then that's when you lose. That's when you lose everything, right? Again.
Yeah. Of course, it's destined, right?
Happening, and every time they happen, it's like a wave, right? You're on this like theta wave now. It's like you have some wins and then you lose, but you're a little bit higher than last time. Then you have some wins and you lose, and you're a little bit higher. So the standard starts going up, so much so to the point where all of a sudden you're starting a crazy, you know, thing. Like you're either trading tons of funded accounts, you start a new business, you're networking with all these people. Like the compounding is insane, right? So anyone that's in the beginning phase, I just said, like, literally, I am you. Like I was you. I had just believed in myself. I had nothing to prove for it. I just doubled down on it. And then over time, it compounded, and I started meeting all these great people. I started having success with my businesses. So originally, what did I do, right? I learned how to trade. I started trading. There wasn't really funded accounts when I first started, so I wasn't into the funded accounts. One of the things that I wanted to do was, how can I meet more people like you? How can I meet more traders? I was like in my room trading.
That's
like,
the hardest bit.
Drinking smoothies, like standing on my head. Like I was like, I need to fucking I was like, I need to fucking meet more people. Like we need to continue to build the, you know, the community. Like I need more community in my life, right? So that's when me and my partner Nick, we started Forex League. Me and him were just hanging out.
Yeah.
I actually met
How
him.
did you meet Nick?
So it's funny. I was in that mode where you're the black sheep, you know, and you're trying to trade. And then one of the early things about trading is like you kind of tell everyone you're trading, and you think you do that so that it's like a psychological thing. Like I'm gonna tell people, even though they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy, I'm just gonna be like, nah, I'm a trader now, right? Like that's it, right? So I was everyone I talked to was like, what are you up to? I'm like, I trade. They're like, oh, trade what? I'm like, Forex. They're like, oh, they're like, oh, you fucking crazy? I'm like, yes. Like,
Honestly,
like, are you out of your mind? I'm like, actually, like I'm out of my mind. So that's why
I just say stonks. I trade stonks all day.
So I met someone who who actually, I told him I was doing this, and he was like, oh, Nick does this. I didn't know Nick, you know, at all. He was like, this guy Nick does this. I messaged Nick on LinkedIn, and I say, you know, I'm like, what's up? You know, I'm learning how to trade. Like, do you want to hang out and like trade or whatever? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you want to hang out and like go through some charts? And he literally messaged me back.
No gay stuff though. No gay stuff.
He messaged me back and he's like, not really. Like, you need to learn how to trade more. Because Nick had already been trading for like 5 years. Like, I had only been trading for like a year, right? So Nick knew a lot more than I did, and was like trading. It was more like consistent. Like he knew what he was doing. I had no idea. Like he's like, I'm not trying to mentor anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
for sure.
I'm not trying to mentor. I'm trying to like kumbaya.
Do my own thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to hang out and like kumbaya, dude. Like, what do you mean mentor? So I put myself out there a little bit more. I learned a little bit more about trading, right? And it was to the point where like we were having productive conversations about trading. We were doing like back testing together, and it was like to the point where it made sense to collaborate.
Yeah.
Right? This like months went by before this. Like it wasn't just like overnight. Like months went by before we reconnected. Then we connected, and we started hanging out, and then that's when we realized like we were a part of so many different trading groups. Like ourselves, we had bought courses, we were in Discords, we were in Telegrams, Facebooks. Nick was in every group you could ever name, right? He was out here, YouTube channels, whatever. And we were just like, all right, like we realized the power of us coming together, and we had started to get more success by just backtesting together like all the time. Becoming more consistent, more confident in what we're doing. We're having a much better time. So we were like, how can we meet more people, create a situation for other people that happen with us? And obviously also we're businessmen at the end of the day. How can we make money, you know, doing this as well, right? So that's when we started the Forex League thing. Nick all of a sudden became like an expert in like marketer on Instagram, like with the whole posting and all that. Like he never did.
How long ago did you start Forex League?
We started it in the actual incorporation date was July of 2019.
Yeah, so still relatively new then.
Yeah, so it's a couple of years, you know, 2-3 years old.
And how many members do you have now?
What's up?
How many members do you have now?
In Forex League? I mean, there's the Instagram has grown from 0 to Nick has 100, almost 200,000. Forex League Instagram, which is technically like the backup, has 100,000, right? My little page has 13,000.
Hey, whoa. I feel like we're going here. We're going down a dark path where you're going to put it on my page.
Yeah. I started, if you go back and look at the early posts on my page, you will really see like the reality of what happened, like with Forex. You know what I mean? Like where we were and like where we are right now. You will see the compounding of what happened. Sure. Like my first post was literally a post of an island on like Google Images, and it was like, one day this will all be worth it. That was my first post.
Super cute.
It's very, you know.
So you want to buy an island? Is that one of your goals? Buy an island?
Corny. Yeah, no, I want to travel, and I always loved to travel. Like when I was little, that's when when my family would go on vacation. We won't get into the specifics too much of the family, but when my family would go on vacation, that's when it was like the happiest of times for me.
For sure.
So I always was like, had that from a young age. And this is why in my opinion, is so important to have experiences, like to go on vacation and like go to college, like do different things, because you don't know what you like. You don't know what you want to do, right? If you just stay inside or stay in your little town, you'll never know what's out there at all.
Never.
You're scared. So I'm trying to go to an island. That's why we're going to Thailand. Is it an island?
When?
It's whenever.
Yeah, there's islands. You say whenever. Stick a day, book a flight.
This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to.
Then you don't have a choice.
I'm going to Texas, February 19th, right?
Yeah.
I'm going there. I'm seeing a comedian. We're shooting guns. We're blowing shit up.
You're going to see Blake?
Yes, I am going to see Blake. Blake's in Austin. We're going to see Blake. We're going to slap him around a little bit. And then
that'd be funny. Video that. I'd love to see that. That'd be so funny.
And then I'm going to Colombia for 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm taking a little trip, personal trip to Colombia. And then is when we go to Thailand. That's when Thailand is the next thing. Because my goal for
shirt in hand.
With the party shirt in hand. My goal for this year is 2 trips domestically and 2 trips internationally.
I'm telling you, once you get to Thailand, you'll taste life.
Well, technically, I have to go on 3 trips internationally if I go to Thailand, because I'm supposed to go to Budapest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's that?
That's
for business, right?
In March. Yeah, because the voyage markets, we got to go to Budapest. We're gonna be there. So we're gonna be in Budapest. I have business partners out there. We're gonna meet up. We're gonna eat. What do they eat out there? Fucking Wiener Schnitzel? No.
I don't know.
That's Germany.
Well, I'm a passionate vegan warrior, mate.
We're gonna eat some kebabs out in Hungary. I love Hungarian food. I love all sorts of food. I'm very diverse in my palate, right? We're gonna get out there, but I don't know if I should go somewhere else in Europe and then travel. The whole COVID thing kind of fucks things up too, right? Because I'm not vaccinated. I'm anti-vax.
That's fine. Like that's fine. Like there's a workaround, right? There's always a workaround. Like people just see the obstacles. I never see obstacles. I just look for solutions. That's all I ever do. We won't mention
the workaround because we're being recorded, but there's a workaround to everything.
No. But like the thing is, it's typically you just have to stay a little bit longer in quarantine, right? That's typically what all you have to do with these places. Or you can just get COVID and then you can get a certificate, so you've had it, right? So there's always ways, right? You just need to look into it and just like I was like when people ask me stuff, I say Google it. That's all I've done. I taught myself how to do everything through Google and YouTube. So everything I've accomplished is just me, myself, and I had no mentor. I had no one guiding me. It was just my relentless attitude to just do it.
That's one way to go about it. That's how Nick was. And then that's when Nick met me, that's when he realized that having a mentor is important, because I made in 1 year the progress that he made in 5 years. For sure. Because I had him as a mentor and I had other people that I was learning from. And we created a very disciplined way of going about learning, right? You're kind of like doing what you did on your own. It does prolong the journey a little bit.
1,000,000%. Like so what happened with me, I won't tell you the specifics, but there was a point where my trading went from because I've been learning for like 4 years, right? And 3 years, it was on, off. And then 2 years, sorry, on, off. And then I really just focused in and I looked at methods how to improve like memory retention, as well as ability to learn new behaviors, and just like kind of went down that route. And within the space of like 6, 7, 8 months, I became immensely profitable. But it was all like I knew how to trade, but I didn't understand how to manage my emotions at that point. And then once you go down the emotions path without proper kind of, I say mentorship guidance, and that's when you learn like the toughest part of trading, the mind.
Trading is like literally everyone wants to put a percentage on it. Like it's 80% psychological, bro. Like it's 95% psychological. Like no, like there's no percent. Not like if you can't manage your emotions, you can't trade, right? It's just hand in hand. It's You gotta have a strategy, and you gotta be able to handle your emotions. If you can't handle your emotions, your strategy can be godlike and you'll fail. You know, if you don't have a strategy, but you can handle your emotions, you'll cut your losses and all that, but you won't be profitable, right? So these things go hand in hand.
Sure. I mean, I'm an emotional person, right? I'm very emotional, but I know how to separate the two now. Whilst before, like I'd let it get to me pretty deep.
How did you go about elevating to get above that?
I just got so low, there was only one way to go. Up.
Well, I'm wondering, like, do you do pre-market, you know, weird things, or what do you do to control the emotions?
I just have relentless faith in myself and my strategy. Like, I know from all the back testing and all the things that I've done to get to this point with my trading ability, it works. So like, I have confidence even when I go on like a losing streak, right? So some people message me like, oh, how can you go down 5% and then come back like the next day or two to like 8, 10, 12%? Like, as I was, because that's my strategy. It's, you know, hot streaks and cold streaks. Like, it's the name of the game. You can't win relentlessly.
You want to know how you come back? I just want to bring some energy into this conversation.
Go.
You come back, right? You have a strategy. You know you have a good strategy, right? You come back, you wake up in the morning, and you say you're down 10%, 11%, whatever. You say, I'm gonna fucking do this today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wake up, go in front of it, you're like, whatever happens, I'm gonna win. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's that dog mentality.
Yeah, it's like I always say to a lot of people, you want to surround yourself with people. So now I only talk to people, only traders. When I go to the gym, like, I don't talk to anyone at the gym, because anyone I associate with there, they don't have the right mindset for me to talk to. Like, I'll talk to the gym owner because he's like an owner, right? He's like quote unquote entrepreneurial, but you know, I try and like say to him, like, you should really look into learning like about the skill, because like, if you're taking a chance on this business, you might find that it'll be the same thing with trading. He's like, nah, that's fine. Different boat, different strokes.
Damn, bro, you're shilling trading at the gym to the owner?
I shill it to everyone, mate.
You're shilling it. My guy's like mid-set. He's like, yo, you heard of trading, bro? You should really get in.
Hey, look. People never know. You never know.
Yo, you're like walking the dog. There's like a grandma. You're like, Graham, why the fuck aren't you trading yet? You know, fund the trader. She's like, what you talking about?
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, but it's just being like, just surround yourself with much positive, like I say, with music stuff, like just listen to positive things all the time, always lifting, because what I've found really interesting since starting my, you know, trading Instagram, right? I only like follow and listen to things that I like as in like trading, health, motivation, and I only hear and see good things. Whilst if I go to my personal one, it's all like, I can't, like, I've unfollowed all the girls, like, because I don't want that distraction. Come on. And like, so no, I'm an animal, mate.
I don't need it. I have two phones. I have one phone for the personal, and I have to lock that away. And then I have one phone for the business that has only business stuff.
Yeah, no, I get too distracted very, very easily. So
this is the magic phone.
Yeah.
This is the business on the trader.
Perfection. But
you see the level of professionalism with this firm? Two phones.
Yeah. Soon you'll have a third phone, and that'll be the dark.
I have a third. Right? It's in the drawer, but we don't bring that one out. Oh my god, that's great.
It's been an hour, right? Do we want to keep going, or like we can come back to it another time? Because
there was one last thing that I wanted to comment on.
Shoot, go.
But
time is nigh.
I can't remember what it is, so I think we're just gonna end it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we could always do another one. It's no biggie. It's not like this is it. This is the end.
Well, what we'll do, because this is the way we wanted to do the formatting, just very open, whatever, you know what I mean? Not anything crazy. We should be doing this on Clubhouse, right? Where we just hop on and just shoot the shit, right? And people come on, we have to establish some level of like what's right, what can be said and not said. Like you can't hop on and start farting in the mic, like, you know what I mean? You gotta hold yourself. You got, like, you know what I mean? Like, you gotta be relatively respectful of like what's going on. So I think we're gonna try to do more sessions on there. I mean, the last session we had was pretty good. So we got to just discover more people in Discord who we get to know a little bit more, and then, you know, we can have them on the stage, and then we invite more people on.
Sure. I mean, there's a few people that I talk to, but some of them like being behind the curtain, right? And that's their prerogative, isn't it?
If you like being behind the scenes, that's fine. That's completely for you. You know, me and Ash, Party Shirt, we want to be on the stage.
I am the stage. Get on me.
Right next to, you know, this guy goes, I am the stage. Right. Yeah, no, we got to know, you know, myself a little bit more. If we'll do another, you know, follow-up interview. But yeah, that's pretty much it, everyone.
Cool.
Thanks for joining, Ash.
See ya.
Peace.